Oh, hello, everybody. I am hoping that you guys are enjoying your evening. I know that several of you are not here because there are quite a few lives going on. I see that Uncle Stu still has his live going. It's about standing on your square, time for great movement. Another recent of my new subs that I'm watching is um, talking about financial literacy, knowledge, and relationships is the channel. Then, of course, we have Real Talk with Melissa Berrien. That's just having her sipping Friday night talk. Before the Billions is also still alive as well. And we have Women in Lennox. That is having her AMA, sorry, with Scott Hanselman, partner program manager at Microsoft 8. Okay, so I'm not surprised that there's not a whole lot of people here. It's fine. I know that it's Friday night, 8:30 p.m. as well, and you guys have other plans to do. I do hope that you guys catch me in the replay. I'll try to make this live relatively short and sweet because although I promised to read the book, I didn't manage to finish reading, but I also do not want to continue postponing this book forever and ever, and I'll simply read it, the rest of it on my own. I do know that I do have to go back to the 48 Laws of Power and as well as the audio book for Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I will be coming back to those books. And I might do a part two to this one to finish off reading the rest of where I was with this book. So, the book I have for tonight is called The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. You guys know how I roll. I'm going to go ahead and share you the link of the Wikipedia page and about the page for Neil Gaiman himself. Now I'm going to do that right now with you guys. Give me a second here. So, as you can see, this is the page for the Graveyard Book itself. And it was written by Neil Gaiman, who's an English author, but he's also published, uh, he's participated in many different styles of books. Now, I have to admit, as you can see, this book is a child's book, more so than anything else. So, a young adult book, so for a kid, maybe about 10 to 12 years old. So that's part of the reason why this book really wasn't for me. That was hard having a hard time reading it and really getting through it. Um, there were certain parts of it that was good, certain parts of it that I didn't like so much. The version I had is not this one that you see here with this cover, but it is illustrated. Okay. The version I have, and we'll go down to the plot for those who want to read while I talk. Um, the version I have is, let me go to the official, is the one that's published in 2008 with illustrations by Chris Rydell and the Graveyard Lyrics by Tori Amos, which was copyrighted in 2001. Just in case somebody is curious, the ISBN number is 978 0 06 238 065 4. It is the first U.S. edition of 2015 and published by in the UK by Bloomsbury in 2008. So this basically is a republished for the US version that I have. Now, basically, I'm sure some of you have read the plot, but basically, the book is about a child named Nobody Owens. What happens is that there's a gentleman that, and I'm not going to give, I'm being intentional here with my words, not only to give, not to give away the plot, but to avoid certain words. Okay. Um, Nobody Owens' parents were canceled by a gentleman, and He has to the gentleman is trying to find nobody Owens to also cancel him, but for some reason somehow the baby escapes, because of course normally babies you find them in their cribs, but when he went to the crib nobody was there. Somehow, some way. At the point that I read the book, it wasn't explained, but he had managed to crawl his way to the nearby cemetery. And he, for the past few years during his youth, it's not really clear in the book. At least I'm not as far as I'm concerned. Um, he spent quite a few years being raised by the ghosts that are in the cemetery. So he spends, it seems like, until a good 6 or 7 years in the cemetery, maximum 12 years there, which is a fanciful concept, because of course most of us think, well, cemeteries are maintained, people visit them, etc., etc. But it's explained that in this book that this cemetery is no longer used and no longer in service, and that basically nobody really goes there other than to do minor walks. He does meet a young girl of about his age that does a walk around in the graveyard. And he tries to, talk to her and befriend her, and they do get friendly-ish. And he tries to convince her and talk to her about ghosts and the goblins and all that live in the graveyard. But because, of course, she doesn't see the ghosts and the ghouls, and he does, she just believes that. He's making up these stories and that they're all just invisible friends like a lot of young kids would have. He's taken in by the Owens couple, which is a couple of ghosts that raise him and take responsibility. Now, what's interesting about this book, what I like, is that the ghosts have a certain amount of physical impact. So the ghosts are able to feed him and get food and clothing. But of course, since a lot of the ghosts are from olden times, they don't necessarily teach him what's necessary for modern day. Now, later on in the book that I have, apparently he does go to school and things like that, which is always tricky because, of course, he doesn't know who his parents are. He doesn't know his actual legal name, things like that. So, how he managed to register for school, I guess I have to find out. So, of course, most of his interactions are with the ghouls and goblins and so forth. Oops, sorry, guys, I have a call. One moment. Oh, okay. Guess not. I guess I don't have a call. Sorry about that, guys. I believe it's for my local delivery. But, anyways, we'll move on, and I'm pretty sure they'll get the hint. But yeah, so the Graveyard Book is really about the whole adventures of Nobody Owens and his life being raised in the graveyard. Now, of course, I believe at the end of the book, he does actually leave the graveyard as a young adult and really tries to make a name for himself in the world. So, as you can see, according to Wikipedia, the plot is throughout his adventures, Bond learns supernatural abilities such as fading, haunting, um, and dream walking. Okay, so fading is the ability to turn invisible. Haunting is allowed to the ability allowed to make people uneasy, and dream walking is controlling other people's abilities. Sorry, other people's dreams. So of course, again, he meets a few people. As a young child, nobody meets a girl named Scarlett Perkins, which is the girl I told you about earlier, that uh, walks around through the graveyard because her mother often sits at a bench and then lets the girl do whatever she wants. The Hounds of God, which I guess you could consider as werewolves, essentially ghost werewolves, basically. The Witch's Headstone, that's where the part that I'm at, where Bod, as he's called, nobody is shortened to Bod, where he tries to help out a witch. The dance macabre, I haven't gone to that part yet. Nobody owns school days, I haven't gone to that part yet. And every man Jack, and then everything leavens and partons. So when he leaves, okay. So that's grosso modo, basically what the book is about. Let's see if I have anybody here. Oh, hello, blind guy, his wife, their life, sorry, and a trash can waves. Thank you, guys, for being here and for showing me some support. Yeah, it was. It would have been nice, but yeah, they hung up as I was about to answer. But thank you guys for being here. I know you guys have a lot to do, and it is Friday night. I won't keep you guys too long for this live because I admit that didn't read the full book. I got to page 108, and there are blah blah blah. Let's see. There are a total of 289 pages. So I'm about 181 pages off. So I got approximately halfway through. Now this book is a child's book, so that's probably why I really didn't it didn't captivate me. If I was maybe let's say 10 years younger, 10 if you guys will allow me the little white lie, I probably would have been much more interested in the book. But what is interesting, what I do like about the book so far is that it's a very easy read, right? Because it is a child's book. It's not meant to be complicated, it's not meant to be overwhelming. The author doesn't use very big words. It flows very easily from one chapter to the next, from one page to the next. And of course, it's intentional. Um, what I find is that, as an adult reading a child's book, that the explanations are, quite frankly, childish. But again, it is a child's book. So, um, where you the cliff notes? Okay, so page number, but it's to the point that I got, Laquita. It's actually, a very good book. Now, apparently, this was the first full length novel that he wrote. Um, and it was overall, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, for me, if I was a child reading this, if I was 10 years old reading this, I would have loved it and would have read right through. As an adult, of course, I my imaginings of a ghost, a ghoul, and things like that are very different than what's presented in the book. In the pages that I read, there is a certain amount of innocence to what's being presented by Neil Gaiman, um, but it's done appropriately for a 10-year-old. So I don't know, Liquida, how you feel about your children reading books about horror and ghosts and ghouls and things like that. I think your kids might like it if that's the kind of books that they read. Um, if you allow it, I mean, it's obvious you're kids. I'm not here to tell you, what your kids should and shouldn't be reading. If you do permit them to read that kind of books, it's really not, in my opinion. And again, you're more than welcome to, read the Cliff's Notes as much as you want to, or read reviews about the books, or pre-read it before handing the book to your kids. um, there's no swear words, there's no blood, there's no violence, there's no uh outwardly like, oh my god, this is terrifying. It's other than the beginning. Yeah, you're right, some of the books that you read for children's books are surprisingly very advanced, and you would not think that they would be. This is not one of them, but in a good way. Okay, it's very simple, very direct. um Even the way he presents the character Nobody Owens, which is the main character, the protagonist, um he presents the character like, I'm not afraid of ghosts. usually when you have ghost stories, because it's basically a ghost story, right? Most of the time, ghost stories are presented where, oh my god, you have to be afraid of ghosts. They're out to get you. Oh my god. In this book, they're really not presented that way. In fact, the one character that you would need to be worried about is a living human being named Man Jack, which is the person that want to cancel Bod and did cancel his parents. And even that's the opening scene. And I think so far from what I read, that's the most terrifying part of that book. And to me, it really wasn't that terrifying. Now, of course, you and I, Laquita, I think are on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to horror and what's acceptable and what's scary and what's not scary. So that's why I would suggest definitely read the book beforehand, because I know, it's important for parents to make sure to be careful of what their kids are consuming when it comes to literature. I find that it's appropriate for, let's say, kids between 10 and 15 years old, in my personal opinion. But again, your kids, you do as you please, Laquita. I'm not here to uh, tell you how to be a mother, right? You know what you're doing. You're your mother's. You're your own. Your children's only mother. It is up to you to decide what's acceptable for them or not. Um, the some of the issues that I have with the book are this so far is the fact that there's a lot of practical things. Like at one point, like I said, he does go to school. How does he register? Because obviously, most schools, it would be the parent that would be registering the kid. He would need to know his legal name, right? You don't just show up to school and be like, one education, please. Now, of course, I haven't gone to that part of the book where he registers and gets to school, so I'm not sure how he overcomes this difficulty. The other issue that I have is that although the ghosts and so forth do provide him with food and clothes, and there's always a practical element of this is a little child that's basically grown up in the graveyard. Although at one point he does talk about having an apple tree and consequently having apples, and that the ghosts are providing him with some food. At some point, you kind of realize that look, the human body, you're going to crave, and I know, Liquida, you're, vegetarian and so forth, but at some point you need meat, especially as a grown boy. Your muscles need to grow and you need protein. So if you're not getting that from meat, you definitely have to eat a lot of beans and other stuff to replace it, right? And I don't think ghosts are really in that point of being able to provide that for Bod. So now you have the Cliff Snow with a fair amount of suspense. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Some suspense is good. And that's what is I do like about this book, Liquida, is that it's very it's more suspenseful than it is horrific. Which is why I think it would be a safe book for your daughters to be reading. But again, I leave it to your motherly judgment as to decide whether or not this book would actually be appropriate. I think there's just enough suspense and, oh, what's going to happen moments that it would make it interesting, but not so much that they're talking about blood and guts and all that kind of stuff that would make you like, ew, this is not really what I would want to have my kids reading. So, hello, Lecious. How are you? I'm so glad to see you here tonight. I'm, of course, talking about The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, and it's illustrated by Chris Rydell. I wish, of course, I could show you the illustrations, but again, guys, of course, copyright is always something that I have to consider, and I really want to minimize my risk. No, it's not quite 9 o'clock here. I don't know, but I think Laquita, I think you're in the Eastern Standard Time Zone as well, Laquita. For me, it's 8:50 p.m. here, Lash's Journey. So I think it's 7:50 for you, and I believe that Laquita, you're in the Eastern Standard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Laquita. I feel like I want to say that you're in Virginia, but I'm not 100% uh, sure about that. Hello, Wally. How you doing? I hope you're doing well tonight. But yeah, so I'm in the Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, no, I thought so too, Lashes. Sorry, I forgot. I thought I had set it for 9:30, but then saw that I set it for 8:30, and I figured, well, an hour plus or minus. I'm not gonna read a whole lot more of the book, so I figured I might as well do it at 8:30, get it done, and then be able to move on to something else. So I'm going to be honest to you and to Wally, of course. I did not read the whole book. I wish I could say that I finally, after weeks of saying that I would read it, that I could finally say that I did. But unfortunately, my brain just did not want to read the book fully because although I enjoyed it, I was not passionate about this book. And my brain is like that when I'm not passionate about books. I tend to stop and go, stop and go. Thank you, Wally. Very kind of you. So, yeah, so I got to page 108 in my version of the book. Hello, Kurt Russell. Wink, wink, nod, nod. And that is into chapter 4, The Witch's Headstone. So this is where Bod, or Nobody Owens, who's the main protagonist, finds out that there's different parts to a grave yard, right? Many of you might know, most likely you all do already. I'm probably not telling you guys anything new here, but most graveyards have what's called a consecrated area. So obviously, it is blessed by the priest or the pastor and makes the land holy. And then, quite often, but not always, there's unconsecrated grounds where, in this book, they dedicated that part to people that have canceled themselves, have there was three of them. They've done major sins, so they stolen. They were criminals, etc. Oh, and there were witches, which is hence the witch's headstone. Yeah, yeah. Kurt Russell did a very good job on the fireplace, and I did promise Lashes that I would combine some of the shorts that she did and make it into a longer video so that you guys would be able to see the slow progression that it took. Well, slow. He did a pretty fast, pretty decent speed of building that fireplace, and hopefully that will video will come out soon, and you guys will enjoy it. So yeah, so chapter 4, he's talking about the witch's headstone because that's when he finds out that there's a part of the graveyard that he's not really allowed to go and visit because the ghost that raised him think that the ghosts in that section will do him harm. One of them being a witch. Let me find you guys the right name of the witch. It's Elizabeth Hemstock is the name of the witch. But Bod, being the good natured child that he is, no worries, Wally. Thank you for stopping by. I'm always a pleasure to see you here. So Bod, being the good natured boy that he is, once he finds out that the people that are buried here are not buried with a gravestone, no markers, no nothing, they're basically just dumped in a hole and forgotten about, he gets in contact to that one particular witch. And because he likes her and feels connected to her, does a whole effort to get her a headstone. And that's one of his, from what I can tell, one of his first adventures into the real world, because obviously he's not in a position where he can just buy or build a gravestone. He has to go to a market or a store and so forth. So of course, this particular chapter is his whole adventure as to figuring out. Hello, hello, Friendsgiving. Thank you for being here. Thank you for passing by. So this chapter 4 is his whole adventure as to figuring out, like I said, how to get his new friend a, gravestone. So chapter 1, just to go back, I know I'm going a whole, as we would say in French, a whole mille milo, all mixed up with each chapter. So chapter 1 is how nobody came to the graveyard. So that's where I talked about the man Jack who canceled nobody's parents, and then the ghost Owen's ghost, the couple, took him in after he had wandered into the graveyard as an infant, and started convincing the rest of the people in the graveyards to take him on and to raise him as one of their own. Hello, hello, Trash Can Waves. So glad to see you here with me. So, of course, the first chapter is really more about the ghosts themselves rather than Bod, since at this point, Bod is really still a child, but they can see that there's something different about him. They also notice a particular ghost that comes and goes, and they speculate that this is probably the ghost of Bod's or Nobody Owens. When you hear I say Bod, it's short for nobody, and that's his first name. Nobody Owens. Okay. They suspect that this ghost that comes and just disappears right away is the mother. Okay, because obviously they explain in this chapter that ghosts often don't know that they've been canceled, that they've passed and have moved on to another plane, and the mother may not realize that her child is still alive, etc. Chapter 2 is the new friend. So that's the little girl that I was talking to you guys about earlier, where Bod meets this young girl, who, of course, doesn't believe that ghosts exist. She believes that Bod is really just making up stories and has invisible friends. Of course, for Bod, he doesn't realize that his friends have passed away. He's not at that point in his mind where, because he sees them, for him, they're alive and well. He may not be making that connection of what it means to be canceled or passed on, right? So these two kids, being kids, of course, play around in the graveyard. He brings her onto one of his adventures where they go into a another secluded part of the graveyard where they get chased around by ghouls and monsters and so forth. The little girl is scared and wondering what's going on. Bod, of course, is in control and is really telling everybody, hey, you know what? It's good to go. They're not going to harm us. Let's continue on this adventure, right? Chapter 3 is what's called the Hounds of God. That's where we meet the what I call the werewolf ghosts, basically. But at this point, he gets introduced to a new teacher who teaches him more about the, for lack of a better word, for teaches him about the quote unquote evil spirits, okay, or the ghouls, essentially, the ones that could technically do you harm but don't really do so. Okay, so that's the chapter 3. And chapter 4, like I said, was let me get back to the official title. Chapter 4, The Witch's Headstone. So that's the chapter I'm in right now, where he's basically at this point trying to get clothes, proper clothes. Thank you, Lashes. Yes, do hit the like button. And if you're watching this on the replay, please leave me a comment and let me know what you guys thought about this particular episode. So, in this point of the chapter, he's trying to get clothes because he realizes that although he has no experience with the outside world, and what I mean by the outside world is everything outside of the graveyard, he realized, because at this point he says, I just have a bed sheet for clothes. Yes, you heard right, a bed sheet for clothes. He kind of realizes that, okay, this does not quite this is not quite the way I'm supposed to be looking and going out into the world. So at this point of the book, he's trying to find a way to get a headstone for his new friend, the witch. Okay, and that's again to show just how he's very naive, but always very innocent and wants to be helpful, wants to do the right thing. So that's pretty much the summary that I have for the book at the moment. Okay, and do watch for part two, because I do want to, as my resolution for 2022 is to read more. I do want to finish this book. So I will continue this book on a later live as well. And I do know that I have to finish the chapters for 48 Laws of Power, and I will yes, definitely happy Sabbath. You should actually be on Sabbath right now, Lashes Journey. Doesn't it start at 4 p.m.? But yes, happy Sabbath to all those that practice, or if you use this time to pray or meditate, or you're here to support me. Either way, I hope your Friday night is enjoyable. Yeah, so I do have the audio book for Rich Dad Poor Dad to finish as well. So those will be my other tasks for 2022, and I hope you guys are able to accomplish whatever goals that you set for your new year or your new life, whatever the case might be. What do I know about the Sabbath? Like, I'm going to tell you what I know about Sabbath. First of all, it starts at 4:30, I believe, right? And it goes until 4:30. No, sorry. Yeah, 4:30 from Friday night all the way to sunset on Saturday night. You're supposed to be praying a lot, spending time with your family. Come on. Although I'm glad you think of me as family since you're spending time with me. I was around, let's see what, oop. I was around 13 when I was, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, sunset to sunset. Exactly. No, reading is definitely important, Liquida. And to me, that's kind of why I have the book review and the reading book series, because I do believe that it's important to read, whether it's the Bible, like Lashes Journey is supposed to be doing right now, or whether it's the Graveyard Book with me, or any other book that you think is important. Yeah, yeah, I know, Laquita, you had said in a couple of your lives that you were definitely the kid that was always in church all day, every day. And if you weren't in church, you were at school. If you weren't in school, you were at home. If you weren't at home, you were in church. But yeah, church life is a big thing in the US. Here in Canada, not so much, but there's quite a few communities here where if you're not a Christian, where you spend time in church, you're in temple. If you are Jewish or Muslim or somebody else. Sorry, that came out a bit insulting. Or you practice another religion, is what I meant to say. Please don't cancel me, YouTube. Thank you. So that's pretty much what I want to say for tonight. But I do want to show a quick little clip of something that I saw on Real Talk with Melissa Berrien. Shout out to her. Uh, you might like. I think you guys would like this particular video. It's really funny. I find it funny. I found it hilarious, and hopefully, like I said, um, you guys enjoy this little clip. Don't worry, it's nothing to worry about. It's very funny, very hilarious, at least to me. So let me go ahead and find it. Where are you? Yeah. So hopefully you guys like this particular video. Let me make sure it's set up properly here. There we are. Okay. So now we're going to get to it. Don't worry, I'm not just singing nonsense to myself. Here we are. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna wanted to show you guys a little bit of. I find it absolutely hilarious to see this orangutan just driving a golf cart. It's absolutely hilarious to me. So I'm gonna drop the link in. Um, Thank you, amazing MNG. I'm so glad to see you here. Happy Friday to you as well. So I'm gonna drop the link for that video I just showed to you guys. And hopefully you guys, it's a relatively short video. I think it's 4 minutes and 7 seconds. So feel free to go ahead and watch it. I'll put it in the description because in case I get a claim, I'll most likely just take out that portion of the video. So if you guys hear me talking about orangutan and not see a video, you know why. Okay, so here is the link for that video, and I hope you guys find it as funny as I do. I found it absolutely hilarious. So yes, Friendsgiving. It was absolutely hilarious. Like, and it just seemed like so relaxed. Like it just, yeah. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm. Like somebody had to teach this guy how to do it. But yeah, it's definitely hilarious, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Uh, yeah, for sure. I might do that. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Yeah, I might turn that into a clip. It looks like something that I could definitely work with and make it into its own whole moment and everything. But yeah, it's definitely to me. It's like the fact that it learned how to drive a golf cart and just seems like I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. To me, that like that attitude of the orangutan is absolutely hilarious. So yeah, that's it for me tonight, guys. So I'm glad that you guys spent some time with me and the orangutan. Yeah, blessed to you too, amazing MNG, and I hope that you have a great Friday night. I'm gonna call it a night for tonight. So even though you came a little bit late, amazing MNG, I'm still happy that you spent even a couple of minutes with me on this Friday night. I know that you guys are taking time out of your night to be here when you could have easily been anywhere else. There's quite a few other lives going on, which is why I'm not surprised that I don't have 1,000 people here. Let me check up on the other lives to see if maybe you guys want to catch me or somebody else there, if ever. I see that Uncle Stu is still live. His theme is standing on your square. Time for great movement. I see that another one of my subscribers that I follow, called Knowledge and Relationships, is also still live. His is Financial Literacy, the Social Hour. So that live is still going. Melissa Berrien is also still going. Hers is Sippin' and Just Saying Online Happy Hour. Call in live. What's on your mind? So if you just want to have a nice, quick little beer, some fries, and wings, which is what I'm about to go get right now. You can go check her out as well. Mr. Before the Billions is also still live. His show is about our beards professional black men in tech. And then for those who want a feminine view of the tech world, we also have Women in Linux that are live. They're doing AMA with Scott Hanselman, a partner program with Microsoft 8. Okay, so if you guys, those are Wolfo is also live too. I don't know them, but I'll try to check them out as well. So yeah. So if you guys want to go to one or do like me, have multiple tabs with multiple lives going, that's absolutely fine. Support who you can, when you can, how you can, folks. So if it's simply participating in one or two chats every night, watching the others in replay, and commenting, if that's all you can do, you're more than welcome to do that. Um, Cauliflower. I ain't dealing with no cauliflower, okay? No, I'm gonna get my nice wings and beers before they get too cold. So I'm gonna go deal with that. I'm a meat eater, Liquida. I need my meat. Although I did, what did I have this morning? I had I did add some oranges and what's it called in English? Grapefruit to my breakfast as well. So I hope that you vigilantes are happy with that. Okay. No, no, you guys, I always tease you guys, but no, it's a good thing that you always remind people, add some fruits and vegetables to what you're eating. It's definitely a lot easier to add the positive than to remove the negative, right? So definitely recommend that you guys. Thank you, Trash Can Waves. Definitely hit the like button on the video. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this live on The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Please do watch out for the part two, where I hopefully, please, dear God, please, it's Sabbath. Please hear my prayer. Dear God, please let me find the courage to finally read this book from beginning to end. Amen. Thank you, blind guy, his wife, and their life. Yes, I will definitely enjoy the food, and thank you, Jesus, for blessing me with the ability to have food on my table, regardless of how much fruits and vegetables I have. Amen. I know that I'm in a very lucky position. Like I'm sure you guys are also very appreciative of, regardless of the where you are in your life. We often, have to remind ourselves that just by being in Canada, just by being in the US, that as difficult as our lives can be at times, that we probably have it better than a lot of people. So the mere fact that I can order food and it gets delivered to me and everything is already a major blessing that I'm absolutely grateful to. Well, Lashes, I already named six other live streams that you could easily go to. Um, or if you have other suggestions, maybe Lashes, you could go live. I definitely wouldn't have a problem with that. But I know that there's six other people that are live right now, including Before the Billions, Uncle Stu, and Women in Lennox. So I hope to see you guys in one of these live streams. Do look out for tomorrow. I do have a live at 6 p.m. and I will have a special guest panelist with me for tomorrow night. It's not a surprise. In fact, let me promote this properly, since I am a professional YouTuber. But let me get her the full name of the person to make sure that you guys know how I am with names. As much as I would like to come out here with proper names and everything, can't you? My goodness, Liquida, stuffed and can't eat more. My goodness. Um, I'm not finding her name. Darn it. Let me find her proper name, because I do want to give the proper shout out. You guys know how I am with names, and I don't want to insult my guest by calling her something else. I would be a very bad host if I did that. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find the proper name to make sure that I call her out. Oh, here we are. So tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for my review of the movie Candyman. Okay, and don't worry, Laquita, there won't be anything too gory. Okay, I'm going to have with me for a half an hour show, uh, Killer Queen DBD. Okay, so that's another channel that you guys can look out for. She also specializes in horror movies, sci-fi movies, and things like that. Go check her out. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include her link. You guys are not obliged, but you're always welcome to go ahead and give her a follow, or at the very least, check out her channel. So her channel again is Killer Queen DBD. She will be with me tomorrow night at 6 p.m. For my next live. Okay, so I'm just gonna find my the right tab and put that into YouTube. Give me a second here, guys, so I can properly type it out. Yeah, Candyman, I have to admit, I'm not going to give anything away. You guys will have to get my full review. You'll have to come tomorrow. But like a lot of people, not too impressed. Not too impressed by the remake. But like I said, I hope to catch you guys tomorrow night, where uh, Killer Queen DVD and I talk about our thoughts of the movie. What's Candyman? Lashes, you're gonna have to look it up. Get Google. Get Google. Google will tell you. No, Google. Lashes Journey Candyman is a movie. Okay. It came out in the 1990s. It is based on a book or short story, I should say, by Clive Barker, and they recently remade the movie, and it came out late last year. So I think something like in December of 2021, if I remember correctly. It's supposed to be a horror movie, Lashes, so it may not be for you. There's going to be some blood and all that kind of stuff. So if you're sensitive about those kinds of things, you may not want to watch the movie. But tomorrow, I promise, I'm not going to do like what I did for Midnight Meat Train. It's not going to be bloody and gory and all that kind of stuff on my. Oh yeah, that's not, but it is. It's it's for me. It's once you say Candyman, and it's not really. It's a remake in my opinion. But anyways, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, Trash Can, and you'll be able to give your thoughts of about the movie tomorrow night, if you can, if you're able to, because I think you work nights, but I'm not sure if you work weeknight. Do you work Saturday night? But let me know. But hopefully, Trash Can, you'll be able to participate in the panel one way or the other. But if you can't make it, feel free to leave your comments, your thoughts on the movie in the replay. I'm always glad to hear your opinion about the books that I review, about the movies that I review, etc. Okay. All right. I didn't. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's a poor man's remake. But anyways, Saturday family days. Okay. Good to know that you spend time with your family. Definitely nothing wrong with that. And I hope that you're able to spend some time with me after you spend time with your family. But like I said, if you're not able to make it for the live tomorrow, it's absolutely fine. It's important to spend time with your family. Bonjour, Afromex. Hello, how are you? I was just wrapping up Afromex, but I'm so glad that you dropped by and that you saw the notification. Yes, weekend is family time. Definitely, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Tomorrow, my live will be at 6 p.m. my time. So right now, just to give you an idea, Afromex, it's 9:20 for me. Okay, don't worry, Afromex. As long as you're here, it's better late than never. I have no problems with people coming in tardy. This is not, you're not in school. You're not going to be, given, I'm not going to give you detentions, but I will ask you to write in the comment section, I love She Stole My Thunder 500 times. No, I kid. No, I kid. As long, Afromex, as you're here and you thought to come by and spend even just a minute, that's a really appreciated. I enjoy even a minute with you. It's always a pleasure. Okay, so you're an hour behind. So basically, for me, it's going to be 6 p.m. for me and 5 p.m. for you. Yes, it's scary night. Just as a general reminder to everybody, and I'm glad that you mentioned it, Blind Guy, his wife, their life. I tend to review sci-fi and horror books and movies. Okay. Um, I may branch out later on. Okay. But for now, that's really where I'm passionate about. I do make a certain amount of exceptions. Like I am reading in part 48 Laws of Power. I did have a couple of episodes on fairy tales and so forth. So if there's, and of course, I did a part review of the audiobook Rich Dad, Poor Dad. No problem, from Mex, my pleasure. So I'm more than welcome. I welcome any kind of suggestions that you guys have for books that you think I might enjoy. But for the most part, like I said, I tend to stick with the horror, the sci-fi, maybe a little bit of suspense and crime books and things like that, and mysteries. But for the large part, my passion, what I really enjoy, is sci-fi and horror. Okay, so, I mean, look, I know, Laquita, you're here to support and you're here to enjoy. You're more than welcome if ever. And I do try to keep audience members like you in mind. So, whenever I know that it is going to get too gory and too sensitive, I do try to give you guys fair warning on some of my content. As you know, I put it up straight 18 plus, right? So, when you see 18 plus, you know, okay, there's going to be some stuff there that's going to be shown. I feel that it's it's okay to show that kind of stuff, but I know this is YouTube, and I do have to be mindful of not only YouTube but you guys as well. uh yeah, oh, you too. Great, Afro Megs. Hopefully you'll come tomorrow night. I'll have a special guest where we're going to be talking about the movies, I should say, Candyman. So I hope to see you there tomorrow. But again, I know family is important, so if you can't make it for the live, please catch me on the replay. Leave a comment of what your thoughts were about the movie, the book, whatever the case might be. So yeah, definitely, guys, don't sacrifice your sleep or your family or anything like that for me. My videos, for the most part, stay up on YouTube. YouTube's, I don't know why it's pronounced it that way. Oh yes, of course. That reminds me, Liquida, I did accept the challenge from Corey. This is how I say the house in the mouse. The house, no, sorry, the mouse in the house. The mouse in the house. Ooh, 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 ooh. The mouse in the house. Hashtag the mouse in the house. So, yes. Shout out to Laquita and Corey. Corey challenged me to say the house in the mouse. That, ugh, I don't know why I want to reverse that. The mouse in the house. I don't know how you would get a house in a mouse. I guess technically, if the house is small enough and the mouse is big enough. No, I don't want to think about it. No, no, let's not let's not think about that. Bad. She stole my thunder. Now we're getting really creepy imagery. No, bad, bad. The mouse in the house. Yes. Hashtag. um. So yeah, yeah, you're more than welcome tomorrow, Afro Mex. Or like I said, if you see it's 5 p.m. and you're still with your family, don't sacrifice that time with your family. I understand that it is important. So please catch me in the replay. My videos stay up. You're more than welcome, even 3 weeks later, to watch the live and to leave your comment when you have a moment. Don't worry. Um, oh God, the queen eye. I hope he laughed hard on that one. Oh my goodness. Sometimes my brain does not want to cooperate, but I hope he enjoyed that moment. I hope so. But we have to laugh at ourselves every once in a while. If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at, really? So, yeah, so that is it for tonight, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. And I hope that you guys will come tomorrow. If not, like I said, I know I said it a few times already. You can always catch any of my videos on replay. Don't worry. I don't take it personally when you guys are not part of my lives. I know from personal experience that there are a lot of lives, there's a lot of content to watch. There's 40 million channels and only one of you guys, right? There's only one Lashes, one Trash Can Waves, one Afro Mex, one blind guy, his wife, their lives, right? There's only one of us. You guys, just like me, are busy. Some of you are parents, have husbands, wives, etc. I don't expect to be the center of your attention at all times. So, whatever amount of time you can spend with me when you can, I appreciate. Uh, yeah, that's fine. Hello, Melissa Jane. Thank you for being here and for showing your support. And that's absolutely fine. As you can see, guys, she puts me on mute in the background, and I'm absolutely fine with that, guys. Like I said, I don't expect to be the center of your attention at all times, everywhere, all the time. I really don't take it personally. As much as I love having you guys here and participating and chit chatting and catching up with you guys, I know you guys have a life outside of YouTube, other than me. And it's always fun that we can spend some time with each other and talking about our lives with each other. And I hope that you guys consider my channel a safe space where you can be goofy and say whatever. And as you saw her earlier with me, I'm talking about house and mouse and blah 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 blah, and just sometimes some of my nonsense comes out, and it's just like, what can I do? What can I do? But I want some Chinese food. No, no, no. We're having wings and fries here. Don't you know, trash can? Come on now. No, I'll let you guys go. And I will be posting, of course, my live streams to come. At this point, nothing new in my schedule, guys. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 9:30 in the morning. I have my Let's Read, where we're going to continue reading Game of Thrones. Sunday night, I have my French lessons for those who want to learn some French. Tuesday, I have an art review. Tuesday night, I will have an interview. It's already posted, with an artist that Melissa Jane hooked me up with. Shout out to you, Melissa Jane. And Friday night, I will be having my book review. I haven't figured out what book I want to review. And Saturday, of course, is going to be my movie review. And I haven't quite figured out what movie I'm going to be reviewing next Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. And I think you guys at this point, you know how I end the lives. Nothing new here with my lives, with my ends. I hope you guys take a moment to go say to somebody that you haven't seen in a while that you love them, go hug them, talk to them. If you need to use me as your excuse, as your crutch, go ahead and say, you know what? She stole my thunder, wants to know how you're doing. She wants to give you a hug. She wants to tell you how much she loves you. And you know what? Go ahead. Say it's blame me. I don't mind. Go ahead. Tell them it's all my fault. It's okay. Go ahead. Give them a hug, give them a shout out, call them out, whatever you feel that you need to be doing. Because I'm sure we all have that one person in our lives we haven't spoken to in a while. We haven't told them in a while that you love them, and maybe you haven't given them a hug in a while. So Lashes, go find Kurt. Go find the babies, right? The kids. Go tell them that you love them. That's okay. Do it for me. Tell them it's my fault. Tell them she stole my thunder and told you to do it. Laquita, go give Corey and the daughters a big hug and kiss for me. Go ahead, blame me. Trash can ways. I know that you don't have a wife and children, but go give your dogs a big hug and kiss. Afro Mex, go give your husband and your kids a big hug and kiss for me. Blame me, guys. It's all my fault. I know I'm a horrible person, aren't I? What are you guys gonna do with me? I'm horrible, horrible. But in any way, what? Well, you could do it to a stranger. Just make sure that it's not a weird stranger. Trash can waves. But yes, definitely blame me for all of it. Go ahead. It's all my fault. I know I'm a horrible person. I know. What are you guys gonna do with me? What are you guys gonna do with me? In any event, guys, have a great night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And I hopefully will see you guys tomorrow with Candyman. If not, I'm sure we're in a small world in our family. I'm sure we'll see each other in one of those other lives somewhere, somehow. And I hope that you guys, in any event, have a special and wonderful Friday night, regardless of whether you practice Sabbath or not. So, au revoir. Goodbye, everybody.